Bienvenidos a otra edición de Tomando Café con Jesús Hoyos. Y hoy vamos a hablar de cómo Zoho usa la inteligencia artificial. Y nos está visitando Ramprakash Ramamoorthy. Hopefully I said it right. Él es el director de inteligencia artificial para Zoho ManageEngine. Ram, welcome. Thank you for being here.
Jesus, pleasure is mine.
Yeah, I know you're a world traveler because I've been trying to talk to you. I know you're everywhere and you're doing podcasts and interviews and everything. So thank you for your time. I think you're in New York. I'm in Florida. So I appreciate your time and I'm very happy, to have this conversation with you. This is part of my AI and CRM series of Tomando Café con Jesús Hoyos. Because I want the people to learn what does it mean to integrate AI with CRM beyond the hype, So
yeah.
I'm glad you're here. So before we start talking about coffee and then AI and CRM, Ram, can you let us know, what is your title and what do you do at Zoho and ManageEngine, and explain what ManageEngine is all about as well?
Absolutely, Jesus. So ManageEngine is the IT management division of Zoho Corp. Zoho Corp is the parent company. Zoho and ManageEngine are the two bigger divisions of the company. So Zoho, we call it the operating system of business. So everything from your payroll to accounting to CRM to help desk. So basically, it captures your employee's journey as well as your customer's journey and all digital tools you will need to run the business. ManageEngine is more of the IT department's set of tools where you try and manage your digital experience both for your employees and for your colleagues, and for your customers. And so we have been doing a lot of AI, and Zoho Corp is a very unique company. We established ourselves in 1996, and we have been profitable from day one. We have a very serious privacy stance. Even in our free tier of products, we don't have ads. So a very unique company in that aspect, and staying private has helped us to place strategic long-term bets. We don't acquire, we build everything in-house. The same thing applies to hyped technologies like artificial intelligence as well. We have been building our AI in-house since 2011. It's been about 13 years now. And I was the first intern who started the AI initiatives for Zoho Corp. And here I am. I lead the AI efforts for the company right now. I'm more than happy to chat about the AI that we have done and the way our customers are trying and putting AI to use in their everyday work, especially in CRM. Looking forward to the conversation, Jesus.
Excellent. And then, I already have some articles in Spanish, discussing what Ram just explained. They're private, 50 plus applications, everything about privacy and everything. And I probably a couple years ago, I did research with Brent Larry, that covering, what is, the whole data privacy, from the Latin perspective. Brent did it for the small business in Latin America. Also going to leave those links down in the description of the podcast. So Ram, are you a coffee drinker? Are you a tea drinker, or none of the above? Just water?
I am a serious coffee drinker. I am in a hotel room right now, so this is the best I could get. But I'm more of a dark roast person. I love making it from scratch, right from grinding beans to setting it up on my espresso machine and pulling a few shots. So I'm a very, very big coffee fan. I've tried different coffees across the globe. Work takes me places, and one of the biggest things is to go out, try an Americano, or if I'm in the mood for it, get an espresso shot, a double espresso shot. And I'm a pure black coffee with a dark roastish preference.
Yeah.
Cup is the hotel cup.
Me too. This is my coffee cup, and I always, drink my my coffee black. And I'm addictive. I drink, way too many coffee cups during the day. But one of the things that 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 I like about you guys, Zoho, that, whenever we're in the conference, as when we set up the meetings and everything, some of the times, we don't get to that meeting, many reasons because of agenda. And then, for example, Raju, the Chief Strategy Officer at Zoho, I find him on the hall. He say, "Hey, can we talk now?" Sure, let's take a walk and grab coffee and let's walk. And then we walk and then we discuss everything that we needed. You know what is good? I get his attention at that moment.
Yeah.
So that's perfect. That's perfect.
Uniting people via coffee. Yeah.
Exactly. That's it. That's the way it works. So let me put this in perspective, Ram. There's a lot of hype out there. There's a lot of marketing. AI has been out there for many years. We've been using AI, in different applications in the day-to-day activities that we do.
Yeah.
iPhone, Androids, social media, computers, all these IoT stuff is out there, but we don't see it. We don't know that it's there.
Yeah.
And Google Maps, all those applications, they use Waze, they use AI. But now, out of the sudden, comes OpenAI with ChatGPT, and we go, oh my goodness, AI is here. Now it's coming, it's around the corner, for you to understand what it is, but it's been here for a long time.
Yeah.
And as a Zoho user, I know that you already had it, with SIA. A long time ago, you have SIA, and it's your embedded, artificial intelligence, where, throughout the Zoho applications, you have a small, or narrow or medium, or sometimes large language models that you use embedded in your application. And then you have, for example, integration with, ChatGPT.
That's right.
I'll give you one example. I was looking to do a very complex query in Zoho Analytics. And I log in with my, ChatGPT account, with the token, and I was able, to write, the syntax pseudocode, and ChatGPT came back with the query. I made some changes. Boom! I had my two reports. A report of 4 objects. Awesome. Okay, and then it said, cool. So at that moment, my prompt went out, came back, but there's a token, and I'm paying ChatGPT to do the query and come back. But at the same time, if I want to use AI in CRM, you guys have a framework. You guys have data security. You have connectivity, between the different applications. You have connectivity with the generative AI that you have out there. You might have connectivity with, AWS and Google. And you might have connectivity with any other tools that might do conversational AI. But at the same time, when people create use cases, and this is what I'm helping a lot of companies, is that, let's focus to do AI, not for customer service, no AI for marketing, no AI for sales or commerce. Let's do AI for the customer.
Yeah.
Let's do AI for the life cycle of the customer.
Yeah.
And here where it comes, the different issues, and this is why I want to talk to you guys, is that when you do generative AI, for example, to create an email for sales, is that the same model that you're going to use to generate, content for your email marketing? Or is that the same model that you're going to use to generate emails for customer service? And that's one example. Then take scoring, opportunity management, forecasting, scoring, whatever it is, and then so, this doesn't sound right, this is like having marketing operation dealing with 5 marketing agencies, revenue operation managing, an agency who's going to create the content for you but doesn't talk to marketing, and so on and so on and so on. So AI is an enabler. It's a very important enabler. It's good technology that we need to understand. But how do we bring all this within the CRM system, especially when Zoho, you are already an ecosystem?
Yeah.
Even if you use Zoho, CRM or Zoho CRM Plus or Zoho Begin,
Mm.
Zoho Begin, Zoho CRM, Zoho CRM Plus,
Mm.
then Zoho One, and whatever combination of the 50 applications, how are you going to deploy AI? You AI, SIA, and whatever else that I want to use that is external. So I want to put this into context and let me know what that means.
Absolutely. So let me break this down to little pieces. The first piece we'll talk about the hype behind the technology and how it has evolved. Um, if you think about it, the technology has been around since the 1960s, like you rightly pointed out. And the problem with the field is it always over promises and under delivers. It over promises, under delivers. It over promises, under delivers. So there have been cycles of AI summers and AI winters in the past, where again investments go sky high, and then the reality hits. Then there is a funding winter. Then a decade later, something else comes. But this particular AI summer that we are in, it started off in 2011, primarily driven by three factors. The first thing is, one, we have built a revenue model around data. I mean, we don't pay for our search engine, we don't pay for our social networks. Instead, we give back a ton of personal data, and then we get these services in return for free. And it has proven to be a very, very successful business model. Right? Companies doing this model are trillion-dollar companies, like super successful and all that. So building a revenue model around data, combined with the infinite computing power of the cloud, and combined with the cheaper data collection sensors. I mean, think about it. This device captures my heart rate every 30 seconds. And 10 years back, 15 years back, it was science fiction, right? Just a device to track how many steps I take, how well I sleep, was straight out of science fiction. But this is like affordable to most of the population right now. And these three factors led through the surge in AI. And like any technology, the consumer world has the first mover advantage. I mean, we started having TVs where you can speak into remotes. We started having social media content recommendations. We started having e-commerce product recommendations. So this is where our first AI touch points is. Like always, enterprise had the late mover advantage. We observed everything, how things were going. But if you notice something, the the challenge of where you can monetize your data for subsidized software does not work in the enterprise, because that's your business secret. That's your competitive advantage against your competitor. So how do we achieve this? See, on the one side, the consumer world is being driven by AI. The hype is at an all-time high. Think about it. The term artificial intelligence itself is very hyped. It's not artificial, it's not intelligence, right? And I love the way OpenAI called it a very robotic sounding name, ChatGPT, because I mean they could have called it an Alexa, they could have called it a Siri, they could have anthropomorphized it, but they particularly gave it a very robotic name, ChatGPT. But even then, all the terms that are built around the technology, for example, think about hallucination. When you say the model is hallucinating, it gives you an illusion that the model is able to think. And then this moment it has hallucinated. I can hallucinate, but the model is just a big pattern matching engine. It just predicts the next word and tries and does a beautiful vector search. That's how the model works. So if you look beyond the hype on how AI can help the enterprise, how AI can help your CRM, then it's going to be giving you the next best action at any given point in time. I mean, you could be trying to, a lead could have actually just come in. And what is the next best action? Look at the properties of the lead, enrich the lead, the domain, the location, the size of the potential deal, and find out similar deals from the past. And look at which of your sales guys have solved it very well, and then auto assign it to them. Once it is assigned, what is the next best action? Give the salesperson all the information that you can without the person having to look up each and every individual specific thing related to the customer's leads domain or location, etc. Right now, then the sales journey begins. So at any given point in time, find out the next best action that the salesperson can do to close the deal. So in a nutshell, AI in the enterprise is about finding the next best thing to do depending on all of your past interactions. And it's different from the consumer world by the fact that you cannot use data to subsidize AI powered software. So it has to be very, very privacy aware, because it is like super sensitive, competitive information that you don't want to give it to a third party to train their AI model. So your data is your data, and it has to work in your benefit. Now, the second part, this is where we are with AI, the AI hype, the consumer set of AI, the enterprise scheme of AI. The second part, how do you apply AI to your enterprise? Find the next best action at any given point in time with privacy controls in place. And the third part, so how do we achieve this? Today, we all use large language models, which are primarily consumer driven, right? I mean, you can plan a vacation, you can get a healthy eating chart, you can try and get movie references all in a single model, right? And given the scale of data that we have in the consumer world, all of this is possible. But like you rightly asked, SS, do you use the same model to do a sales email and to do a marketing email? Well, that wouldn't scale for most organizations, as we see with the privacy controls in place. So what do we do? What do we do at Zoho? At Zoho, we have been building all our AI models in-house. Like I said, I've been building the AI team since 2011. We use a combination of a lot of these models, small, medium, and large language models. We just use the large language models where it's actually needed. It's interesting that these large language models have an emergent capability, which can give you answers or give you recommendations that it has not seen verbatim before. So use the large language models only when necessary. The small and the medium models are much more relevant given the limited amounts of data in the enterprise, given the limited compute requirements that you need to. I mean, a large language model can run really well, but it's also very expensive to run given the GPU requirements, given the training data requirements, and all of that. So a combination of all of these models, a thoughtfully chained, a thoughtfully integrated small, medium, and large language models is the way to go for the enterprise.
So let me go back to the to we're just explaining the next action.
Yeah.
Okay. And let's take a traditional, scoring model, especially on the lead.
Yeah.
And that one could be very small, very narrow, just because you're going after the lead object. Okay.
Yeah.
But let's assume I'm a company, that I'm doing B2B and B2C. Okay. Jesus Hoyos, I am an office supplier. Jesus Hoyos goes to the e-commerce as a lead, and he buys paper and a computer printer and, supplies. Okay. But Jesus works for Service Consulting. Okay. And then he said, oh, hey, I like, when I went to that store to buy the printer and the paper, I go to my purchasing department and I tell them, go and buy, all the printers and paper from there, create an account, and now, from B2C and move from B2B.
Yeah.
Okay. So, so there is a e-commerce part, there is a B2B part, there is a B2C. Okay. And then out of the sudden, purchasers say, hey, we're going to give you discounts for all your employees. Okay. So they can go ahead, whenever they come in as employees, they can get a discount. So all of a sudden I get a bunch of B2C people.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's no longer the lead. Okay. Is the whole persona model, the relationship of the person. Okay. And by the way, I'm giving you the scenario. It's a true scenario for universities in Latin America. Okay. It's the same scenario. Okay.
Yeah.
And now my traditional scoring model for the lead doesn't work. Yeah. Because the data model that I have is is expandable to look at opportunities, a shopping cart, a quote, a contract, a blanket order. Maybe I'm going to buy so many printers during the year. The person's going to reorder. So, and then I have people, through marketing, coming in, that they don't know that they have a discount, that I need to match them. So the scoring is no longer the lead. The scoring is all this data set that I have inside the CRM system, okay, maybe integrated with the ERP, okay, in your case, Zoho books, Zoho inventory, CPQ, quotes, and then I want to change that model. How limited, or what would be the limitation for me to say, okay, I have that model, I have to change it? Or at that moment, they say, you know what, that model is no longer, based on your use case, it's no longer a small or narrow, it's a large language model. Then you have to go over here, or you have to go over there.
Yeah.
Okay. How you guys work through that?
Great question, Jesus. So let me take a step back and let's forget the AI part for a minute. The way the CRM itself is evolving, right? It's going to become very democratic. I mean, all customer-facing functions are going to be coming to CRM. I mean, we launched our CRM for everyone at our recent Zoholics in Austin, and the idea is this: your CRM is not just going to be restricted to the sales. Everybody who has a customer touch point in your organization will be able to access the CRM. Think about an accounts receivable person. Think about the legal team that drafts the agreement for the purchase. Now they have systems that are in silos that don't talk to CRM. But now when everything is brought under CRM, that is when it becomes AI ready. In fact, with all the AI hype that we see, what we have seen with our customers is give the same AI stack to, let's say, 3 different customers. They have 3 very different return on investments on the AI stack. Why is that? Because it's all about digital maturity. So how much of your data are you actually capturing in your CRM? Do you consider your CRM as a proactive tool that figures out everything, or do you consider it as a end of the day data entry tool? Right? And then obviously if you do the end of the day data entry thing, there's going to be a lot of mistakes. There's going to be, I mean, you don't have to, the CRM should not be a load on the salesperson who is already like overloaded. And okay, I went close so many deals, now I'm writing everything on my CRM. So now that is not how it should work. It should be a uh, very the CRM should be pulling information from so many metrics. And we have smartphones, you have a ton of information that you can automatically aggregate. And when your whole CX team, when your whole customer facing team is on the CRM and are able to see the single source of truth, where data is not in silos, that is what makes AI more and more effective. So more digitally mature organizations, by digitally mature I mean organizations that have very less digital divide across departments, right? In a typical organization, just to say your finance is heavily digitized, but let's say something like your um, facilities isn't very digitized, right? So reduce that digital imbalance across your departments. Ensure all departments are digitally mature. Ensure that there is a common analytics platform or a common CRM platform for the customer facing folks, to so that there is no data in silos and your AI system is able to look at the big picture. Think about it. Let's say you have a customer who came into your garage a couple of weeks back, and think of it like he comes into a car service garage, and he got his tires changed. And 2 weeks later, he comes on chat support and says, hey, I came back, and the system is able to know as soon as the person reaches chat support, it knows that this is this customer who owns this model of vehicle. His last visit to the garage was on so and so date, and these were the things that were done. Right? So imagine, I mean, we have all had situations where we had to explain ourselves to multiple support agents, and we've all got frustrated because they just don't get the context. But with AI looking at non-siloed data, the AI system is able to tell the chat agent, the chat support agent, that, oh, this is the customer, he has this model of car, this was his last visit to the garage, and these were the things that were done. And once that comes in, then the customer says, hey, I came and did this, but I have an issue that keeps popping up. Maybe the it's not working very well or something. And then the chat agent is also able to see the batch number of the tires or the parts that were installed on his car. And the AI system also tells you about similar issues reported with other customers in the batch number. And it also gives him a prompt to say, okay, you can auto approve a replacement, you can auto approve a warranty claim, right? Think about the alternate case where the chat agent has to speak to his manager or has to call up somebody, get the warranty claim approved, and then go back to the, and multiple hops. One, you have better employee experience here. Two, you have better customer experience here. And the moment it is conditionally approved, then the chat support agent can tell the customer, okay, they can look through the inventory, and this, they know the customer zip code. So these are the spots that are available. Maybe you want to book an appointment right away so that you can drive in and get a replacement at your convenience, right? So this is the digital maturity that we are talking about. This is not about AI at all, but it's a lot about having a lot of this information in one place. Now, like you rightly said, it could start as a B2B, then it could get into B2C by giving employee discounts. So let's say you're giving all Zoho employees a discount. Now, it also looks at the fact that how many of such similar deals that you've done in the past. So how do you, I mean, charting the behavior of a customer, of a customer's employees or your employees, by bringing them, by unifying them digitally, by making your departments digitally mature, by having your systems not in silos, that makes your AI more effective. That makes your CX and EX very, very effective. I think that's what organizations should strive for.
Well, I mean, that's the lesson here, based on, listening to you. And I have a blog post in my website discussing, you want to do AI, how optimized is your CRM system? And when I say CRM system, marketing, sales, support, ERP, whatever touches the customer, and you guys are starting to break those silos with the new product, Zoho for everyone, Zoho para todo el mundo, in Spanish. And I think that's a compelling argument. And I still believe, even though, you might have, Zoho CRM Plus, and you might have, I don't know, another marketing automation tool, or you have the whole Zoho, you still need to have your organization set up so they understand the taxonomy, the naming convention, the integration point, the omni-channel needs to be there somehow, the data quality needs to be there somehow, so your CRM, your ecosystem, your tech stack, your CX tech stack, needs to be in place so you can evolve with everything, AI, and I think my opinion, Ram, is that digital maturity, when you break those silos and you have all that integrated, you are not only you're going to be ready to have a better IQ for AI, you're going to have an improved IQ to understand the customer.
Yeah.
Before you go to AI, because a lot of people don't understand the customer yet because of the silos.
That's right.
Okay. So saying that, what is your framework? Let's assume that I already have my CRM ready to go. I spend a lot of money to have, I pay Jesus Hoyos to come here and fix my CRM. I have Zoho integrated with this and that.
Yeah.
I'm ready to start deploying AI. What would be the first step, from the Zoho perspective? What should I do in order to implement a good framework in my tech stack within Zoho?
So, like I said, we cater across departments, and the first step is to first have your processes well defined. I mean, we've been talking about this concept of process automation for a decade now, right? That's been the whole digital transformation wave, where we're trying to automate processes digitally. Now with AI coming in, it's going to be about decision automation, where AI will take a lot of these decisions for you. Now, if you are a customer that is looking to bring in a lot of digital tools to enhance your employee and customer experience, the first place you start with is to define your processes, right? Where do you want the digital thing to take over? How many of pen and paper records do you maintain? How easy is it on the field to capture this process? Like I said, this process should not be an afterthought. You don't close your deals and come back in the evening and write everything into a CRM system. It's not going to work that way. It has to be organic. If it needs a mobile app, if it needs a location tracking, then you should have all that in your stack. So first start with investing in existing processes. Define your processes, define your workflows. There can be very complicated workflows where there is an escalation and it goes to a different department. And now again, things like CRM for everyone can help you see the ground truth, and how do you get to AI? So a lot of times the first thing we tell our customers is forget the hype around AI, right? The technology, it's another technology. I mean, it's not superhuman. Like I said, it's not artificial, it's not intelligence, and this technology has been touted as a superhuman technology. If you think about it, think of something like a database. Can you search through millions of records and get me a value in less than a second? It is still superhuman, but we don't call database a superhuman technology. Same way, your AI can sift through multiple patterns and look at what comes next, or go back and find out what could be the root cause of this particular incident. So keep your expectations in check, right? And once you start with that, educate your employees on how to deal with decisions that you can take via AI. And most good AI models are only 85% accurate. Now, how do you deal with it? In fact, run a shadow AI in your system. Let a human take a decision in the decision automation process, and also have a shadow AI taking a decision. See the areas of strengths for the AI. Now, let's say you are a bank, you are a credit processing engine, and you're able to see that your AI is able to make very good decisions in urban salaried class credit disbursements, credit approvals. But in rural self-employed cases, the system always has a mismatch with the human agent making a decision. So if that is the case, let the AI take decisions for the urban salaried class, and let your human agent take the decisions for your rural self-employed uh, credit buyers. So ultimately, what should be your goal? I mean, people talk about AI replacing our jobs, AI replacing, wiping out the humankind and all that thing. But if you think about it, what should be an organization's goal when they start off with AI? Your aim should be a 10% improvement in whatever you're doing. 10% improvement in your lead closure, 10% reduction in your escalation times, 10% improvement in deal values. If you are able to achieve that 10% value, that is when your AI investment is paying off. Today, hardly less than 2 companies are able to get this 10% ROI on their AI stack.
But
Then
how do I know your framework? I have my use case, I have my processes.
yeah, yeah,
Okay, and
yeah.
let me give you one, use case.
Mm,
I need to set up a campaign,
mm,
okay, which is
mm.
gonna, touch all the Zoho applications,
Yeah.
content generation, scoring, everything, onboarding, the whole end to end, for a campaign.
Mm.
And I want to get to that 10%.
Yeah.
How do I know within your framework which AI to use, or
Yeah.
what model is applied? For example, I'm
Yeah.
going to generate emails for marketing.
Yeah.
I'm going to generate a landing page. I'm going to use a scoring at the lead or the opportunity.
Mm.
I'm going to, identify that the next phone call,
Mm.
that next email, that next best action.
Yeah.
How do I know? I have my use case, and I have, my laundry list of things that I want to
Yeah.
improve, and
Mm.
the total of those laundry, those items are going to be that 10%, which
Yeah.
I'm going to monitor.
Yeah.
Okay. And over here, I have my human guy, the human person,
Yeah.
the person, not the human person, the person, analyzing, making sure it goes, understanding, tweaking, making changes, and then all of a sudden, 5%, 8%, 10%. So now I understand how the model is working. I understand where are the hallucinations, and then, I understand how it works. So how do I know? Is everything Gen AI? Here is a small narrow language model. Where do I go to do a prompt? What is your framework? What?
Yeah.
what is your copilot? For the lack of a better word,
Absolutely, Harsha. So we
And let me ask you. Hold on. Let me give you this disclaimer,
Hmm.
because when I go to Zoho, I ask Sia,
Yeah.
and it's very, I get a reply back. It's not like I go to this place to do AI. It's like embedded. So that's my question.
Yeah, I get it. So we see, if I were to speak as an engineer, we broadly have three different engines under the hood. One is a statistical machine learning engine, which looks at your time series values, which looks at forecasting, which looks at finding out root cause, which looks at series of events and then understands if it's a normal event or an anomalous event, and so on. Use cases like finding the best time to contact a lead, use cases like predicting an escalation, predicting an SLA violation, come under statistical machine learning. Then there is natural language processing, where we try and understand user generated input. The chatbots or the analytics has a ask Zia feature where you can go ask questions on the data that you have. All of these come under natural language processing. Again, we have models across sizes. We have small, medium, and large language models. And then finally, computer vision, where let's say we extract information from documents, we extract information from PDFs and images, and let's say you're filing your expense, you will be able to automatically find out what the expense is, and the administrator will be able to ask questions on the expense report that an employee has filed. I mean, how much has this employee spent on hotels per night, and is it in line with your policy, and so on. So this is from an engineering perspective, three divisions: statistical machine learning, computer vision, and natural language processing. But from a consumer perspective, we want to call it contextual intelligence. We call it contextual intelligence, and we try and obscure this information from the customers, because AI should not feel like AI, and it has to happen organically. So the best way to look at it is next best action. And then if you're generating something, again, we have an integration with OpenAI, which we announced in April 2023. And we also have our own large language models, because like I said, larger the models, the more generative ability, right? So we chain these models contextually in such a way that the end user or our customer will not see it as AI. It is deeply ingrained into the system. So you don't have to worry about, is a large language model giving me this response? Is because there is ground truth, there is explanations added wherever possible. Like I said, we are moving to decision automation. So the decisions have to be explained by the AI engine so that the humans can earn, I mean, the AI can earn the trust of the humans. AI can earn the trust of your employees. And how well does it integrate into your existing workflow? So this, by contextual intelligence, I mean, we take the onus from the user worrying about, should I be using a large language model for this problem or a small language model for this problem? So it's going to be pretty straightforward, where you don't have to worry about it. And we don't even have a pricing model for AI, right? It
Well,
is,
that was
yeah,
my next question. The
yeah.
elephant in the room. How about
I equate
pricing?
it with search. I equate it with enterprise search is complex, right? Enterprise search has privacy restrictions. I mean, let's say we both work for the same company, and I should not be able to search through and retrieve how much you are making or what your performance rating in the appraisal is, right? It is sensitive information. But a payroll administrator or a HR manager will be able to see both of our appraisal ratings or salary information, because they have the power to do it. The same thing with AI, where it is hidden behind the context, and wherever this AI can automate the decisions for you, we do that via Zia. And there are cases where you need to retrieve information, for which we have natural language bots like Ask Zia. You can go ask your questions in plain language and get the results.
Because the two things that I'm seeing, the embedded AI, through the pilots that I'm doing, they already have limitations.
Yeah.
Okay. And they don't reply back properly, or they tell you, hey, you reached already your credit, where's the quarter? Insert the next quarter,
Yeah.
I'm talking the embedded CRM AI, I'm sorry, the embedded AI in the CRM application. So I would like to see, how you guys manage that pricing as moving on, because, it could become complex. And second, if I want to bring my own my own language model, or I want to modify whatever you have, I don't know, contextually, I want to look at the engine and change the scoring rules. I'm able to do that as well.
Today we integrate with a lot of open source models, but we don't have the bring your own model yet. We will evaluate our customers' requirements and then take a call on it. Again, the option is with the customer. I mean, when we launched our OpenAI integration, that was the only integration we had. And today we integrate with multiple LLM vendors, and we have our own LLMs as well. So the choice is given to the customer, and we do follow the bring your own key model, where customers can go pay these LLM platforms and then bring their key, so that the context remains within their organizational information, and that way the privacy is preserved as well.
Well, I deal with a lot of companies in Latin America. They already have, the guy, the data science guy, in a corner, they export, all the data, and they throw it, through Python, R, and they come up with their own, models and next actions. And, they come up with the metric, and they send the metric back to the CRM so they can perform the next action, The problem here that you already lost time, because you exported, you did whatever, and that person needs to clean the data. I have people using data data prep for you guys from Zoho to clean the data, for PHP. Actually, we have a service. We have an exercise where we tell them to implement a Zoho, very minimal Zoho system, and we give the data. The data is messed up. And they find out what you have, and they go to Zoho Prep and they fix it. And these are people who say, "Oh my goodness, I can use this for for my data science project." He said, "Yes, simple stuff, email, dates, the lead object with the opportunity, the contact, how many emails, simple stuff, and the foundation, the data, the foundation of the data, and they like it." So.
So we are doing this in our analytics platform. We have been doing in a full-fledged DSML, data science and machine learning platform built into Zoho Analytics. That's in the roadmap. It's not out yet, but very soon you will be hearing about it, where we have all these algorithms as APIs, and somebody well-versed with R or Python could come in and chain these algorithms to their data and see how it works. As far as large language models, plugging large language models, that is not there yet.
Okay, and then let's for my last question, let's dig into data privacy. What is your framework for particularly for AI? How do you protect that data so it doesn't go outside? Or if it goes outside, how do you make sure that it's grounded, that it's a script, that it's masked, whatever that you guys do? How do you protect the data regarding artificial intelligence?
Absolutely, yes. So we have a very strong privacy framework where we treat user data like our code. So it's access controlled, it's periodically reviewed. In case you don't access it for a while, the access gets cut off. In fact, we don't have any access to the data. Let's say there is a rare case where a customer wants to debug their AI model. Only after their written consent, the employees of Zoho will be able to see the data and fine-tune the model. But we have a very strong privacy framework which gives 3 levels of protection. One is an individual user level privacy. Let's say, think of something like autocomplete, right? Where it's trained on your content, and then it's sensitive information, and the autocomplete model only serves you. Even though we both work for the same company, your autocomplete model is not recommending autocomplete or recommendation for me, because that's trained on your data. Then there is an organizational level model where your org's information is only being used to run inference for your org's employees. Think of something like lead enrichment, or best time to contact a lead, or similarity between leads. Then this is your information, your organization sensitive information. You don't use that to make inference for your competitor's organization. Then there is a global model. Think of something like translation or privacy, or grammar, where we remove all direct and indirect personally identifiable information and then use a global model to run inference for things like translation and privacy. So this is like very strongly built in to the system. Again, not just AI, but all the other things that we do is bound by these privacy frameworks. Like I said, we are a very, very privacy aware, privacy first company, and we strongly believe your data is your data, and it cannot be used to train a third parties like Zoho's large language model or Zoho's AI system.
Yeah, because I seen other CRM systems that they share the data in the ecosystem with the metadata, okay, with other customers in the same industry, and if you don't have enough data for that particular model,
Yeah.
they will share, and they tell you, and you have to say yes, but it's out there. But if you don't pay attention, you don't see it,
Yeah.
And I think my recommendation here, if you're buying Zoho, sit down with Ram and understand the data models. You've been very straightforward, but I think you don't understand the language models. Everything that you do, that inventory, I think is extremely important to understand, especially when you guys have it, contextually embedded in the application. So Ram, we have like another, 2 minutes or so. What would you recommend, anybody who wants to start, using AI with you guys?
Like I said before, the 10% rule is a good. Don't just do AI for the sake of AI. Don't just do it because everybody is doing it. See where it can actually make an impact. And the 10% rule is a good thumb rule to, if it's going to help your customers do self-service on your support system, then that's a good start. If it's going to help you find out better targeting of your leads and better positioning of your sales folks, then 10% improvement should be your should be the leadership's aim to, because any system, especially a hyped system, after a while there's going to be the question of return on investment, right? And given the way large language models are headed, given the way we need ton of GPUs and compute, AI is going to be an expensive commodity in the world of software. So do that 10%, and I'm sure it will be a good start to AI, not just with Zoho, but with any technology platform that you work with.
Yeah, I am not that optimistic with 10%. I tell my customer 2.5%. And you know why? Going back to what you're mentioning, the digital maturity of the CRM system is not there.
Yeah.
The omni-channel, it's not there. Some people have WhatsApp just for marketing, and they have something else for sales and something else for service.
Yeah.
And then the more data that you have to organize and put in your rack and put in your vector database, and the more data that you have to do fine-tune, the more PDF files, the more audio, text, records, becomes expensive.
Bigger challenges of an enterprise is to have departments work together, especially arrive at a consensus on software. It's very difficult to achieve.
Yeah, so that's extremely important. So I'm glad that we're pointing to the basic, the core things that we need to do in order to go AI. I agree. Pick a metric, 10%, and go after. The reality is going to hit you very soon. Maybe it's 10, maybe it's less, maybe it's more, but
yeah, a lot of times the question is, where do you start to achieve that 10%? Process streamlining, data streamlining, automation. Streamline your processes, streamline your data. Invest in traditional automation. If you're not using your rule-based dumb automation, then AI is not going to come in and make a bigger impact. So use the dumb automation. Streamline your processes, streamline your data, use the dumb automation. That will take you to the 2.5%, like you said. Improvise on it, then it will become 10%. That is your first milestone.
Perfect. Ram, I learned a lot. Thank you very much for your insights regarding how you guys use Zoho, a different approach from other vendors. I'm still I'm trying to understand long term, how you guys are going to evolve with AI. That's what we have in this conversation. So hopefully in 6 months we can have this conversation again. As you guys evolve. And I'm very curious, you know, and I will leave this, you know, with the new, you know, vertical product that you're going to have with Zoho for everyone, you know, how that's going to evolve, you know, because having access to the CRM system, to the data, and making sure that you use the system properly, you know, for all the employees to empower them. And then in the future, that data is going to kick into AI, you know, it's going to be very powerful, you know, which is it's a limitation of in the industry because not everybody have access to the CRM system. We know that. That's a fact. Okay. Why? Because we always export that to Excel. When I hear that from anybody, say, so you have a CRM system, you know? So that's the whole idea. So Ram, thank you very much. Don't leave. Okay.
Absolutely. This was a pleasure.
Thank you, Ram. Okay. Bueno, ya saben, me pueden seguir en las diferentes redes sociales. Esto está pues en la plataforma de podcasting y en YouTube. Nos vemos en la próxima y cuídense.